Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys.
Cowboys predicted to sign Super Bowl champ to $13 million deal. The Dallas Cowboys could target a Super Bowl champion in free agency. As written by CBS Sports' Cody Benjamin, he projects the Cowboys to sign Kansas City Chiefs linebacker Willie Gay Jr. to a 2-year, $13 million deal. Gay has served as a starting linebacker since entering the league in 2020 as a second-round draft pick and has now won back-to-back championships as the starting weakside linebacker for the Chiefs. A regular in the Chiefs linebacker corps for 4 years, Gay has now been a part of 2 title-winning defenses in KC, even though his numbers have never been gaudy, writes Benjamin. He'll probably be among the most affordable of their homegrown free agents on this side of the ball. But even then, re-signing Drew Tranquill or leaning on Nick Bolton is probably more likely. Why the Cowboys could use Willie Gay Jr. Gay is certainly an unheralded member of Kansas City's defense despite being a key player on the unit. The 4-year linebacker racked up 88 tackles during the 2022 season, ranking 3rd on the team. While Gay didn't have an amazing 2023 season, he posted 58 tackles, he remains a steady presence. According to Pro Football Focus, Gay posted grades of at least 66.5 during his first 3 seasons in the league. He ranked 20th among all players at his position during the 2021 season and 32nd during the 2022 season. Across his 4 seasons, Gay has started 47 of his 57 appearances with 233 tackles, 5 sacks and 4 interceptions. Perhaps most importantly, Gay likely won't cost a lot of money to sign. Spotrac projects his market value to be just $7 million per year across 4 seasons as a total of slightly more than $28.2 million. Considering the Cowboys have a projected salary cap space of $14 million in the negatives, 26th in the league, and when factoring in that Dallas would like to sign Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb to contract extensions, they'd love to sign Gay to a $7 million per year deal. Cowboys could sign Willie Gay Jr. To replace Leighton Vander Esch. The Cowboys will likely have an opening at weak side linebacker with Leighton Vander Esch facing a potentially career-ending injury. The former Pro Bowler has had an extreme history of neck injuries and he suffered another season-ending one after playing in just 5 games during the 2023 season. Vander Esch has suffered neck, collarbone injuries in 3 of his 6 seasons in the NFL and also suffered one as a sophomore during his collegiate career at Boise State. Team owner Jerry Jones commented on Vander Esch's latest neck injury back in November. "He's an integral part of that defense out there," Jones said on 105.3 The Fan. "We just wish him well, and just the nature of his potential injury here causes me to really think longer term and beyond what that means for next week or beyond what it means for next month. It has everything to do with what's in his best interest." Gay has now played on a defense that just ranks 2nd in the NFL in points allowed per game, 17.3 points, and now has 10 games of postseason experience under his belt. For perspective, the Cowboys' starting linebackers at the end of the 2023 season, Micah Parsons, Damone Clark and Marquise Bell, have a combined 10 games of postseason experience among them. Signing Gay may not be a flashy move, but it could pay dividends when the Cowboys make their postseason run. Mike Zimmer breaks silence on joining Cowboys under Mike McCarthy. The Dallas Cowboys introduced new defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer today in a press conference alongside Mike McCarthy, and he spoke about what it will take for the defense to improve. "At the end of the day, honestly, it's about what the players can do," Mike Zimmer said, via Michael Gelkin of the Dallas Morning News. "Ideas are great and all of that. But what can they do?" It was interesting to hear Zimmer say that it is up to the players. The Cowboys have a talented defensive unit, headlined by Micah Parsons. Zimmer will undoubtedly enjoy working with Micah Parsons, who has been a top defensive player in the league under Dan Campbell, who departed for the Washington Commanders' head coaching job. Mike McCarthy is entering the last year of his deal with the Cowboys as head coach, and after a massively disappointing showing in the playoffs against the Green Bay Packers as heavy favorites, the hope is that Zimmer can have the defense ready for bigger games like that one. It will be interesting to see if there are any big differences in scheme for Zimmer in comparison to Dan Quinn. The new defensive coordinator brings years of head coaching experience with the Minnesota Vikings. For much of the last decade or so, the Cowboys have been a strong regular season team, but have disappointed in the playoffs. Zimmer hopes to come into Dallas and make an immediate impact that puts the Cowboys back on top in the last year of McCarthy's contract. Rival denies Cowboys bid to poach longtime Mike Zimmer coach. There's a new high-quality architect of the Cowboys' defense in town to replace Dan Quinn, as the team is officially hiring former Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer. But the Cowboys were not able to bring on one of Zimmer's top coaching associates, despite their best efforts. Zimmer wanted to bring on Andre Patterson, who is currently the defensive line coach for the Giants, but the Giants have denied the Cowboys' request to interview Patterson. The news was first reported by ESPN's Adam Schefter, who wrote on Twitter, X, and the Giants now have denied the Cowboys' request for permission to meet with their defensive line coach Andre Patterson, who was the defensive line coach and co-defensive coordinator in Minnesota under Mike Zimmer. Indeed, Patterson's connection to Zimmer goes all the way back to Dallas in 2000, when Zimmer was the defensive coordinator in his first stint with the Cowboys, and brought Patterson over to be the defensive line coach. Patterson joined Zimmer in Minnesota when Zimmer was made the head coach of the Vikings, first as the defensive line coach, then as the line coach and co-defensive coordinator. In all, the pair have worked together for 10 years. Patterson is one of the best defensive line coaches in the NFL, having filled that role for 7 teams over 20 NFL seasons. Cowboys' defense needs line help. Certainly, the Cowboys' defensive line could use all the help it can get. While the Cowboys, overall, had a solid defense this season, there were clearly several holes, including a lack of depth up front. Third-year lineman Osa Odighizuwa was good all season, and was graded out at Pro Football Focus with a 77.0 grade, which was 19th out of 130 defensive linemen in the NFL. But the rotation was lacking beyond that. Chauncey Golston was solid, ranking 45th out of 130 D linemen, and Neville Gallimore was 69th. But Jonathan Hankins, who got the second most snaps on the defensive line behind Odighizuwa, ranked just 89th with a 53.6 grade. The big concern, though, was Mazi Smith, the Cowboys' 2023 first-round pick, who rated just a 47.2 grade, which was 113th out of 130. Smith did not improve over the course of the season, and even with injuries hanging over the Cowboys in January, he played only 4 snaps in the playoff loss to the Packers. Mike Zimmer hire getting good reviews, not being able to lure Patterson from the Giants' stings, but still, Zimmer has gotten positive early reviews in his new role. Former Pro Bowl cornerback Darren Woodson had high praise for Zimmer's toughness and discipline, something the Cowboys probably need after their string of postseason disappointments. He doesn't have any backup in him, Woodson said of Zimmer, via ESPN. He's going to set his feet. He will fight your ass tooth and nail, a lot like Bill Parcells. You're going to do it his way. He might not be your best friend. It's not going to be cuddly and kumbaya. That's not happening. He's going to test your mettle. Zimmer was the team's DC under Parcells. No matter how you feel about the move from Quinn to Zimmer, anyone who has watched this team consistently would agree that someone who can test this defense's mettle is a good idea. He's himself, Parcells told ESPN. That's what he does. That's what people that get along with players are. They don't say you have to get along, but players respect people who are straightforward, to the point, and trying to help them get better. He's the best with them. And the ones that don't like the truth are probably going to have a problem.